Welcome back to another episode of Annie Off the Cuff. These versions of my content are without my YouTube producer and all of her fancy cameras and lighting and all of the things. So this is my makeshift setup. If you are new here, I am Annie Miller. I am a strength and conditioning specialist as well as a business mentor to other coaches who want to build an online health and fitness business. I help you learn as you train and enjoy your lifts again without having to figure it out for yourself. And today I am bringing you 10 specific reasons, realistic reasons, applicable reasons to strength train or weight train other than wanting to change your physique. Now, physique changes are going to happen if you are lifting weights at challenging loads and continuing to push yourself. It's one of the benefits of strength training and weight training. So let's go ahead and dive into the top 10. I am making this list because although I do have specific aesthetic goals myself, I do not market that within my own training. So my Built by Annie program is for long-term strength and hypertrophy training. If your body changes, that's great, but that is not what I'm trying to sell you on. Funny enough, number one is muscle mass, building muscle mass. So the benefits of building muscle mass, we're still finding more information in the literature about the benefits of having muscle mass. It is your body's largest organ, and it is an organ if you didn't know that. It's very important for metabolic health, it's very important for immune health, and you have to think about it this way. As we age, if we are not building and maintaining muscle, what is our body made up of? Not lean tissue, right? It's going to be made up of fat. That's what's going to take up space inside our body, fat and bones versus muscle mass. That really is the, very oversimplified version of why it is important to build muscle mass. You will also find that muscle mass is very important for number 10 on this list, and we will obviously get to that later. So that is number one, is building, having, and maintaining muscle mass. It is very important for your lifespan and the longevity of, if you want to live a long life and be able to move and use your body, you're going to need muscle mass to do that. Number two is joint mobility, or just mobility in general. Obviously, your muscles are involved in mobility as well, but when we move our joints, they stay more lubricated, for lack of a better word. But it really is, if you don't use it, you lose it when it comes to mobility. I say mobility versus flexibility because flexibility is your passive range of motion. I want you to be able to actually take your body and move your body through your end ranges versus just having those end ranges in a passive position. So lifting weights gives you the opportunity, depending on the program that you're following, to increase your mobility or use the mobility that you have. Number three is actually heart and lung health. So this is just kind of generally speaking for exercise. So is weight training or strength training going to be the most beneficial modality to use in order to have heart health and lung health? No, cardio is probably going to be your go-to there, but exercising in general does get your heart rate up. It does get you to use your lungs at a larger capacity than if you were just in a sedentary state. So that is why it makes this list. And of course, you should be doing some level of cardio in addition to your strength training. That is highly recommended, and obviously heart health is going to be very important for the longevity of your life. Number four is very legally blonde of me, and it is positive endorphins. You just feel better when you lift weights, when you exercise, literally because your brain is releasing endorphins and they make you feel good. So why would we not want to do that? It is one of the main reasons if you have an older training age, you might be better at this than if you have a younger training age, if you're not as experienced. So if you have an older training age, a lot of times when your motivation is low or maybe you haven't lifted or worked out in a few days, you are able to go get that lift in because you know you're gonna feel better on the other side of it. And that comes from experiencing those endorphins off the back of exercising. That can be a runner's high, that can be a weightlifting session. It doesn't really matter what form of exercise you're doing. Moving our bodies at decent intensities releases endorphins, and that makes you feel good. That is number four, endorphins. Number five is your body is better at using the fuel that you consume when you exercise. So any fats or carbs that you are consuming, these are energy sources. So protein is another macronutrient, but it's not necessarily an energy source. We use that as building blocks within our body for our cells, including muscle. Your body is going to be able to better use the fuel that you are putting in it in terms of carbs and fats. Otherwise, your body is going to take that in and just store it. When we exercise, our body can use both the stored and the readily available versions of these macronutrients. Number 6 is just possibly better sleep. There is research that shows that exercise can help mitigate sleep deprivation, and it can improve your sleep. Working out is obviously a stress on the body. It is something that our body needs to recover from. So in addition to those positive endorphins, we release cortisol as well, which is our stress hormone from workouts. Working out and lifting weights hard is actually a catabolic event. It is an event that breaks down things in our body, and then our body has to build those things up. Now, sleep is when our body does that. It's actually kind of a double positive here, because we need sleep in order to adapt to our training, but also that training can help us get higher quality sleep as well. So kind of a win-win there. Number 7 is doing hard things can actually be enjoyable. So the next 3 kind of go together. Doing hard things can actually be enjoyable is one of my favorite kind of mantras or just phrases, thoughts, etc. It's something that I really grabbed onto in my preparation for giving birth. I thought about like some of the hardest things that I've done in my life, and the fact that those are also some of the most joyful experiences that I've had in my life as well. So if you've never thought about that, lifting weights and training hard can absolutely fall into that category. It's fun to push yourself because you're learning about yourself. You're also, I think, using what you've been given, and that's an enjoyable process as well. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Let me know down in the comments below. I think that everybody can find a form of exercise that they enjoy doing. I am just a huge fan of the weightlifting piece because of that muscle mass and the benefits there, because of the functionality of it, because of having strength, etc. So I digress. That was number 7. Doing hard things can actually be enjoyable. That is absolutely a reason to lift weights. Number 8 is off the back of that, which is that it builds self-efficacy. When you weightlift, or when you're following a program, you're showing yourself that you can follow through, and you have shown yourself that you can do challenging things and come back stronger from it. And that sounds so cliche, but it is so real. It is why I literally have a little barbell, can you even see that, tattooed on my body. I think that weightlifting is so empowering, especially to women. Weightlifting, weight training, doing hard things builds self-efficacy, and that is one of our values here at Annie Miller Concepts, so it absolutely makes the list. Number 9 is learning and witnessing yourself learning new skills. So I teach weightlifting from the perspective that every movement you do in weightlifting is just a skill, and your goal is to get more and more proficient at that skill. In weightlifting, that comes through building neural pathways from your brain to your muscle and your body doing whatever movement it's doing. It's a skill. You're learning a skill. It's fun to learn new skills. It's fun to feel yourself and see yourself getting better at a new skill. And if you are looking to weightlift but not wanting to do it just for the reason of changing your body, performance goals and learning new skills is a really, really great place to start. Let's bring it home with number 10. Probably the most obvious reason is to build strength. Strength is rarely a disadvantage in life, and I want women especially to get strong. It's empowering to feel strong. It also makes life easier. So just a fun little story here. For probably the first time in my life, I mean, I've had a lot of injuries through the years, but the first time I actually felt like noticed myself feeling weaker was after we traveled the world for almost a year. My freaking backpack, I was carrying my backpack on my back, but then also I had like another bag I was carrying on my side, like a farmer carry essentially. And I just remember being like, this is hard. Like, these bags were fucking heavy. And I did not enjoy that feeling. It was the first time that maybe I didn't realize how much I had taken advantage of how strong I was before, and the positive benefits, the carryover that had outside of the gym, how much easier it just made life. That was my first experience in my adult life, and that was in 2019, that I was like, okay, when we get home, we're getting strong, because this is not fun. Being like, these bags are heavy. It's not a good look. Didn't enjoy it. Building strength, and you don't have to be a power lifter, right? Just getting a higher relative strength to your body is likely going to be beneficial in many areas of life other than just in the gym. That wraps up 10 possible reasons to weight train, to strength train, to resistance train, besides your physique or wanting to change your physique, which, by the way, is totally fine, but probably shouldn't be the driving factor of you lifting weights if you want to do this for the long haul, which is another value here at Annie Miller Concepts. So what would you add to the list if you are an experienced weightlifter? Maybe you're not watching this if you're an experienced weightlifter. I don't know. You can give me a reason why you lift weights down in the comments below, or maybe why you started lifting weights. I would love to hear from you. So do not be shy. Drop a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe as well, because I do drop a new video every Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed these educated gains, and I will catch you in the next one.